I'm on a road trip across the legendary Route 66, which spans 2,448 miles connecting Chicago and Los Angeles in order to see its unique landmarks, explore the forgotten history, and most importantly, have a meal at the most famous restaurants along the way. Yesterday, my buddy Jim and I started in Chicago, drove over 300 miles while stopping at a few iconic restaurants on the route. Then we ended the night at an RV park in Eureka, Missouri. This is day 2 of the Route 66 road trip, and it begins very early at 6 a.m.
Good morning, Jim.
Morning.
Ready to get started?
No, let's sleep.
So it seems like day 1 took a bigger toll on us than anticipated, since we both started the day feeling very groggy. Luckily, the RV park we're at has showers, so it makes getting ready just a little bit easier.
Jim,
Yo,
are you ready now?
I'm ready. I feel
Yeah.
refreshed, showered, brushed my teeth,
Yeah.
ready to go now.
All right, back on the road.
So the game plan today is to drive about 500 miles through Missouri and Kansas all the way to Oklahoma. Even though it's a long drive, I'm honestly pretty excited because we have some very cool places to visit along the way. Not to mention, the first restaurant we're heading to right now might surprise everybody. The morning drive took us about 5 to 6 hours along the route, but we finally made it to Springfield, Missouri at the one and only Steak and Shake.
It's obviously raining right now, so I'm gonna be quick about this. I wasn't planning on visiting any fast food spots on this trip. However, this Steak and Shake is very special.
Not only is it considered an official Route 66 landmark dating all the way back to 1962, it's also the only Steak and Shake on the planet that's been added to the National Register of Historic Places. The outside of the building features 2 humongous vintage signs, and for some reason, there's a giant red banner with the word Tacoma-Sac on it. I'm not really sure what this means, but I'm assuming it's there for a reason.
Jim and I are gonna head inside now.
We made our way into the building expecting a quick meal, but I got really confused when I saw this "Please wait to be seated" sign. Then out of nowhere, a waitress came by, led us to a table, and said she'd be the one taking our order today. I thought Steak and Shake was a fast food restaurant. Why do we have table service?
This is like casual dining. There's actually one like this not too far from it.
What?
Yeah.
Regardless of what type of restaurant this is, the inside of this place looks very, very cool. Let me show y'all. This place gives off the same vibe as your classic 1960s diner with the checkered floor and neon signs. However, my favorite part has to be the bar counter seating area right in front of their open kitchen, since you could just sit here and watch them make your burgers. Now, since I've already been to a Steak and Shake before, I already know exactly what I'm gonna get. Obviously, it's gotta be the original double steak burger. What I'm curious about, though, is because this Steak and Shake is a famous Route 66 landmark, whether or not it'll be better than, the usual Steak and Shake you'll see somewhere else. Jim, you know what you're getting?
I do. The Frisco melt.
I don't think I've had that before.
It's like a patty melt.
I like it. Now, just as a reminder, we are on the hunt to find the best restaurant on Route 66, so every place we visit is getting judged on 3 things: their best dish, a dessert, and just the overall vibe of the place. Lou Mitchell's in Chicago still holds the #1 spot with a solid 8 points, but maybe one of the restaurants today can change that. Thank you. Wow. Technically, we got dessert first. I got an Oreo milkshake. What'd you get again?
Just chocolate. Traditional.
Should we try dessert first?
Of course.
All right.
Always dessert first.
Oh, that's a good milkshake.
I like it.
And now the food has arrived. This came out like freaky fast. One cool little thing I just noticed. Look at these napkins. They're Route 66 napkins. Do we keep this as a souvenir?
Definitely.
Jim, you may do the honors.
Here we go.
Dude, you're not gonna cheers the audience? Come on, man.
Cheers. That's a good burger. It's a good patty melt.
All right, my turn. My verdict is in. This burger is gas. The steak burger, moist, juicy, tender. I like it. I do think this is better than regular Steak and Shake. With that being said, Jim and I devoured the rest of our food, and we are ready for the ratings. Jim, I'm gonna let you go first. I have mine up here, okay?
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually not going that low. I would give this place like a 6.8. Like, it was a really good burger, and also I just love how the outside of this building looks. The vibes here, it's really cool. Looks like that gives Steak and Shake a total score of 6.4. Although the burgers were good, still not enough to crack even the top 3.
Oh my gosh, it started pouring.
Jim, that was a good steak and shake. I don't like the rain though. Back on the road?
Back on the road. Let's do this.
We just made it to our first major landmark of the day, and I am beyond excited for this one because this landmark is themed after my favorite Pixar movie, Cars.
Welcome to Cars on the Route, one of the main attractions in Galena, Kansas. This funky-looking landmark used to be an old 1934 Canotex gas station, hence the cool gas pumps outside. Unfortunately, they're no longer operational, so you can't actually get a tank of gas anymore. But don't worry, that's not the coolest thing about this place.
I found something so amazing that I have to show y'all. You know the character Mater from the movie? Meet Tow Tater. This real-life tow truck is what Tow Mater was based off of.
Apparently, while driving down Route 66 doing research for the movie, Pixar's creative team saw this old rusty tow truck parked outside of a rundown gas station. They fell in love with how that truck looked, learned that for some reason the locals had already named it Tow Tater, and at that very moment, one of Pixar's most beloved characters was born.
That's so crazy. This is the real-life Tow Mater. This isn't even the only Cars-themed reference around here. Just driving around, we saw Luigi's Pit Stop.
Somebody spray-painted an old abandoned car to look just like Lightning McQueen. There was a pole with the sheriff on it, and while driving in, we just saw random cars with eyes on them. Now, as much as I'd like everything about this place to just be rainbows and sunshine, it turns out the Pixar crew also drew inspiration from the sad story of this town itself. Back in 1961, once the brand new I-44 interstate completely bypassed Route 66, the once bustling mining town of Galena, Kansas was basically left behind. Sound familiar?
We're only stopping here for a few minutes so we can stay on schedule, but just getting to see this place in person is unreal. The first time I even heard about Route 66 was because of the movie Cars. This place could end up being my favorite little pit stop on this entire road trip.
On our way out, one thing's for sure. I won't be forgetting this little town anytime soon. I'm super grateful for even being able to do a trip like this and see all of this cool stuff, but none of this would have been possible without the sponsor of today's episode, which is why I want to tell you all about my friends over at Revolut. Revolut is an amazing financial app with a ton of different features, and it's trusted by over 50 million people worldwide. And there's even a $20 bonus if you sign up, but more on that in a second. It's super convenient when you're traveling internationally or domestically because they have some really cool features. For example, Revolut lets you send and receive money internationally. You can spend and withdraw around the world in different currencies at very competitive rates. Not to mention, there's no ATM fees for in-network ATMs locally or globally. Revolut has already helped us out on this trip because in episode 1, the gift shop that we went to was actually cash only, so we had to stop at an ATM beforehand, but we got to avoid the fees. Revolut also has a bunch of other features where you can track your spending, create virtual and disposable cards, and they even have these really cool customizable physical cards that you can use for your everyday purchases. The best part is you can access all of this from your phone in just minutes from inside the app. There's no need to go to some building or do any boring paperwork. It's just super convenient. It's actually crazy how much this app can do. New users get a $20 bonus when they sign up using the link in my description or by scanning this QR code right over here. Again, that's a $20 bonus for new users when they sign up using the link in the description or this beautiful QR code. Huge thanks to Revolut for sponsoring episode 2 of this series. Y'all, please go check them out. We continued along the route through Kansas, which didn't take as long as we expected, crossed the border, and found ourselves in Veneta, Oklahoma.
Ladies and gents, behind me is Clanton's Cafe. This restaurant was also featured on Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
And apparently they have a chicken fried steak so good that when Guy Fieri tried it, this is what he said.
That's pretty Mac Daddy, man.
Also, Jim's behind the camera. That's why he's not standing right next to me. Let's go inside. Jim, we have a problem.
What?
They're closed.
What do you mean they're closed?
They're closed. Yeah, there's a sign. We probably should have called ahead, huh?
Probably. That's a mistake.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess we'll get to restaurant number 3 earlier.
Always a silver lining.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I am hungry though, because it's been a few hours since we've been at Steak and Shake. But back to the car.
Let's do it.
Back to the car.
Honestly, kind of a bummer since I really did want to try that chicken fried steak. But the good news is, since we're now saving a bunch of time, we can drive a little slower and pay more attention to the cool attractions we see along the way. We passed by a bunch of old motels, saw quite a few strange Route 66 landmarks, but I think my favorite thing had to be the really old vintage signs.
Whoa! Hey!
That's the old school Arby's logo.
All right, everyone. We finally made it to the Rock Cafe.
One of, if not the most famous and important restaurants along the entire Mother Road. In fact, the building itself was literally constructed using excavated sandstone from the paving of Route 66.
And the crazy thing is, that's not even the coolest part. You see these Cars references right here? Cars logo, Sally, Lightning McQueen over there. Well, the reason all of that is here is because
Rock Cafe's current owner, Don Welch, is the literal real-life inspiration for the character Sally.
I cannot wait to check this place out, so let's go inside. Jim, come on, let's go.
As we walked towards the front door, I just couldn't contain how excited I was to be here.
What if we get to meet Dawn?
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be so cool.
And the moment we entered the building made things feel even more surreal. The restaurant was smaller than expected, but had so much character. They had a ton of Cars decorations all over the walls, including these sketches of Sally that were dropped off by the original animators after the movie came out. This place is insane. Right off the bat, I'm in love with the vibes. Now, just like all of the other restaurants along the route, the Rock Cafe also had a very huge menu with so many options. I think my buddy Jim here might have gotten a little overwhelmed.
I need help.
All right, that's what I'm here for.
What do you recommend?
Oh, Lord.
That's what you're here for.
I am, but okay. The bacon cheeseburger is like a bacon cheeseburger like you've never had.
Oh,
The-
man.
Our waitress made everything on the menu sound so good, which actually made it harder for us to order. It took a while, but we did eventually figure it out. Perfect. Thank you so much.
In for a treat.
While we waited for the food, she brought over a little guest book for us to look through. The pages on here were signed by so many different visitors from all over the world, who probably were on the same journey we're on right now. Jim and I got a chance to sign the guest book too, and I may have shamelessly plugged the channel here. It's okay though, because I saw some other people do it too.
The guest book has been signed. That means we've officially been here. It doesn't count as a visit if you didn't sign the guest book.
Then, after a few more minutes of waiting,
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Holy moly.
I brought you some butter for your biscuit.
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so
Oh no, you're
you're
fine,
good,
no
you're good.
worries. They're durable.
good. Y'all enjoy.
Wow.
Thank you. Dude, she was right. I have never seen a bacon cheeseburger look like that.
Amazing. I even have to take a picture.
Keep in mind, I haven't seen Jim take a photo of food one time on this trip. I got the chicken fried pork cutlet. Our waitress also said, I've never had anything like this before. And she's probably right. All of the food smells so good. I don't even want to wait for you to try yours first. So let's just eat at the same time. And whatever face we make, that's the face we make. Cheers. Dude.
Give me a second.
Jim, how was the burger?
It's incredible. I mean, I am not lying here. I've never had a bacon cheeseburger like this.
Better than Steak and Shake?
Hands down. This is amazing.
I promise I'm not exaggerating. First off, this chicken fried pork cutlet was so tender. The outside still has like, you know, a nice crunchy texture. The gravy salted perfectly. It's seasoned like, my brain is malfunctioning.
And if you think I'm lying about how good this chicken fried pork cutlet is, I let Jim try it, and here's what he had to say.
That's amazing.
This might be mean. Clanton's being closed was unexpected, but I'm glad it happened because if I had a chicken fried steak there, I would not have gotten this.
We continued to devour our entrees, but while we ate, I couldn't help but notice this woman sitting in front of us that didn't look like a regular customer. Can't really see her face, but I'm like 95% sure it's Sally from Cars. If it is, I do have a question for her, but I'm nervous.
I think we asked our waitress. Is that her?
So that's exactly what we did. And it turns out, That lady's just the manager, and Dawn would not be coming in today.
Oh man, I wanted to meet her.
After seeing how much we loved the food, our waitress said we could not leave without getting desserts and brought us a menu.
All right, what do you recommend on this?
Yeah, I trust you with my life now.
She sold us on basically every single dessert they had, saying we couldn't go wrong picking any of them, and I believe her. But what really caught my eye was a dessert called Dawn's Peach Cobbler. Apparently it's been on the menu for almost 100 years, meaning it had to be good.
Oh wow, I'm in for the peach cobbler.
Do you want ice cream on it?
Yes, please.
Once our dessert was ordered, I wanted to learn a bit more about the owner, Dawn, and how she became the inspiration behind Sally the Porsche. According to multiple sources online, the Pixar animators first visited the Rock Cafe in 2001 while doing research for the movie and met Dawn. During her 20s, Dawn was spending time traveling the world. But after visiting her mother in Stroud, Oklahoma for a few months, she eventually fell in love with this small Route 66 town and wanted to breathe new life into it, which sounds exactly like what Sally wanted to do. Stories like this is why I've also partnered with the National Trust for Historic Preservation and set a goal to raise $10,000 for their Preserve Route 66 fund. All of the money donated here goes towards helping businesses along the route, and they've already helped places we've been to today, like Galena, Kansas. You can find the link to donate down below. Every dollar counts.
Cobbler and apple pie.
Thank you so much. We got desserts. Jim got the fried apple pie, which I cannot eat because I'm allergic. If this dessert is even close to as good as the entrees, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh man. Ice cream and peach cobbler might be one of the greatest combinations in food history. Jim, that apple pie looks insane.
Right?
Ready to dig in?
Yeah.
Let's eat. Cheers.
Cheers. This place is a little gem.
This place is unreal. I can't believe it exists.
Walking in here, I had high expectations just because I love the story behind the building. I did not expect the food to be this good. What were your thoughts coming in?
So exactly the same. You come in, looks cool from the side of the road, but it's like, you see that a lot of times and you're like, the food's not gonna be that good. Wrong. Awesome.
It wasn't going to be hard to score this place, so we just spent the rest of our time enjoying the dessert.
The bill has been paid. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet Dawn this time around, but who knows? Maybe I'll come back again. Before I leave, there's just a few more things left to do. To the gift shop.
It turns out the building out front with the Cars logo on it right next to the restaurant was actually the Rock Cafe store. Inside, there was a bunch of Route 66 and even Cars merchandise to buy. I now realized I may have a decision-making problem since I had a very difficult time choosing what to get, but after looking around just for a little while longer, out of the corner of my eye, I found the perfect souvenir. Souvenirs have been purchased. Jim, are you ready for the rating?
So good. Atmosphere, awesome. The people in there are awesome. The food, incredible. 9.8, easy.
9.8?
Yeah.
That is super high. Honestly, I was kind of thinking the same. It almost was a 10 for me, but I don't think a 10 exists. So,
Same here, same here.
holy moly, this is the highest score on Route 66 so far, and it is a strong one. Well, with a total score of a 9.8 out of 10, it looks like the Rock Cafe easily takes the #1 spot, meaning right now, it is currently the best restaurant on Route 66. All right, y'all, we've arrived at the RV park for the night. Jim and I both have finished getting ready for bed, and we're exhausted. Somehow, day 2 of this trip ended up being even cooler than day 1, which blows my mind. There was just so much cool history and things to see, and honestly, I can't get over how good Rock Cafe was. That place was magical. It's about time I go to bed because we have a very, very, very long drive ahead of us in the morning. Jim, where are we going?
Back to Texas!
If you couldn't tell, Jim is very excited to get back to Texas, and honestly, so am I. And what's crazy is, the restaurant we're going to tomorrow could be considered the most famous restaurant in the entire state. Should be really fun, but with that being said, see you in the morning.